Reba here. Welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. So I had forgotten to show you guys the elderberries that I had rooted the other day. Like, I had done my trimming on my elderberry bush and I had put them into some dirt. So I'm going to show you that right now. In fact, I'm going to be moving all of my gooseberries over into this section, and I'll show you that right now. All right, you guys. So I've gotten everything reconfigured. I chased the little snake off. He went into, he lives under my house. So he was poking out. He's coming out right now. He's right down there. Let's see if you guys can see him, his little head. I keep scaring him back in. Every time he sees me, he's right there in the rocks, right there next to the grate. He's coming out. I'm going to let him come out. He's been wanting to come back out, so I'm going to let him come back out. He's my little friend. All right, and there's another one. There's another couple that are out here somewhere in the yard as well. Anyway, so got my lawnmower here. I was doing some work, and then this one I am trying to sell because my neighbor had left it here with me when she moved, and so it's just taking up space, so I need to get rid of it. Just like a lot of things in my home, I am downsizing. I'm not downsizing my plants, but I am downsizing in other areas, which is really awesome. So anyway, so this is kind of the area I'm thinking about putting the gooseberries. I'm thinking about putting them just on the back side of these container pots here. I've got a little section over there, so this is how everything's looking now, minus the lawnmowers and that sort of thing. And so yeah, everything's looking really good. It's a nice open area now, and these are all the items that are for sale, and I'll be relisting those in Marketplace. Hopefully I'll be able to get those sold soon. And then I've got 3 of my figs here. 2 of them are in the greenhouse, and you know like anything, everything's always a process. The cleaning up and everything's getting all moved around and getting dirty again. Like, I need to wash those off because I ripped all of the tomato plants out back there, and I replanted a couple of them that were doing better over here. I'll show you really quick before we go and take a look at those cuttings of the elderberries. But I just clumped all of the tomato plants, the smaller ones, all together and just stuck them in a hole. I was like, I don't even care. I just threw them all together in that hole. And then I used the cages on a couple of the tomato plants that are kind of doing a little bit better. So I got a couple in there. And yeah, this is a yellow cherry tomato. This thing is massive. It's like almost 4 feet tall. Crazy. So anyway, so this is where I ended up deciding to put all of the trees. I got my apricots down here on this end, the elderberry that I trimmed the other day, and we'll go see those cuttings in a minute. And then I'm going to be moving some of these pots back because I don't want anything in between the long pots and the purple pots because it just looks nice and neat. And then I'm putting all the other pots on the other side. So these ones right here in this section are going to get moved on the other side of the purple pots. And then I have a little alcove back in this other section behind. So all my other fruit trees and bushes. And so I kind of staggered them. I did fruit tree, and then I did elderberry, fruit tree, elderberry, fruit tree, elderberry, fruit tree, elderberry, fruit tree, high cranberry, it's a bush, fruit tree, crandall currant, fruiting tree, blueberry bush. And then I did retransplant my Lebanon cedar into this purple pot because I had been wanting to put something into this purple pot. And instead of getting another fruit tree or a bush or something, I decided to go ahead and put it in this pot just because I think it would be better for it. And I wanted to move it off of the septic hole right here for the septic tank. There's 2 septic tank holes here. But the guy couldn't see this one last time because the grass had grown over it. So I'm trying to keep it free. And so now I have this empty pot, which I'm really thinking I'm going to like wad up a whole bunch of paper bags and recycle them that way and put them in the bottom, and then put the layer of dirt at the top, and then I can plant like grasses and like, you know, seasonal type flowers into it, and that way I can have something by the front door. That's what I'm thinking for this, have seasonal stuff in it, you know, every year. That's what I originally bought it for anyway, so I figured I might as well do that. And because a saucer doesn't really fit well underneath of it, and it would actually look really good by the front door, so I need to put like a flower into it. So ignore this mess. That's what the tomatoes were all planted in, and I'm gonna spray that off and clean them off so I can recycle. And then back here is my little I'm gonna move this down to right here, like right behind the ash tree, and just kind of intermingle these two trees. We've got new leaves forming now on it, which is really exciting. And I had this one listed for sale too. Nobody bought it, so I thought, you know what, maybe I'm supposed to keep it. So I'm just gonna put it up here right behind that purple pot that's right next to the ash, and then I can move this pot in a little bit. And this is like a mini alcove here. I don't want to like get in the way of too much stuff, but I've got like different little trees growing here. I've got avocados. I've got like a row of what do you call those? Chestnuts. And they're not the horse chestnuts. They're sweet chestnuts. I don't know the variety. I bought them at an Asian food store, and I rooted them last winter, and this spring they all came up. So excited about that. So I've got these beautiful trees growing. I've got 4 pear trees back here. Here's the elderberry cutting that I had. The main one that is like the big one, I rooted here. This is a cutting off of my alesso from last year, and it is growing really, really amazing. So this is how you guys can, you know, regrow or make make more bushes from your bushes. Elderberry is not one of those ones you need like a rooting hormone for, and gooseberries are kind of the same way. Yeah, they'll kind of help, but generally speaking, they'll set root without any kind of rooting hormone. So yeah, I don't use it anymore at all. This is done without rooting hormone. This one will probably be just fine. I could probably remove more of the leaves off of that actually, for it to set root. That's something I would recommend. Then I've got a peach tree that I grew from seed last year. And then these are some white mulberry here. I'm trying to think. I think that's just a pepper plant, so I need to move that out so that I can reach it better. And then here is an avocado tree that came up this year because the other ones died. I'm going to leave this one in the greenhouse outside this winter, and we'll see how well it does. I've got an eggplant in with my lilac, and then some other things are coming up near it, so I'm not sure if they're lilac or if they're like some sort of, I'm not sure what they are. And then I've got a section from my hydrangea that I have planted out front, and that way I have a piece of my hydrangea, because hydrangeas are pretty awesome and they're very beautiful. I don't know if they really have a smell, but anyways. So I got apple trees along here. This is the one my son grew from a jazz apple, so it's Kai's jazz apple is what I'm calling it. And then these are some of the fruit trees that I've grown before. Like I was experimenting with the goblet shape open center style of growing, but all the limbs want to become a new leader. So I decided to go ahead and just let them grow this year and not mess with them at all, really. I've got some of the limbs tied back to try to open them up a little bit, but if they're trying to make a leader, I'm just letting it be. So we'll just see how everything progresses from there. One of my rescue trees, and I've treated it and everything, and I don't see any growths appearing from the mites on it. So I'll probably treat it again soon, just to make sure. And then here's all the other plants I have back here. And then I've got like some of the seasonal stuff, like the zucchinis and stuff like that back here. And yeah, so this is my little alcove. And then I put my tomatoes over here. So I need to tie a little rope around them so they stay upright, so we don't get any more limbs breaking. I only had one limb break when I moved them today, so that was really good. But so I've got this little alcove back here now, and then I can just come in and water them really easy. And yeah, so I've got kind of little sections here, but I don't have an opening down here anymore to walk through, which I think is okay. And I can actually move these in a little bit more as well if I wanted to, because my kids are, little stinkers. So anyways, so that's it for this bit. I'm going to show you guys what I ended up doing with those elderberry cuttings. Okay, you guys, see you in a minute. Okay, you guys, so here is the finished cutting product. So some of these will take and some of them won't. Some of them are kind of small, but I figured I'd go ahead and even let the little ones have a shot. So this is what I've got, and I already know last year not all of them took, and so I know that this year not all of them are going to take either, but they're all in this big pot, and I will take them across the yard. So now I have to pick up these leaves and put them in this box, but I will do that off camera. So let's take this one over, and I will show you the gooseberries that I did the other day, and I'll explain that too. So let's come over here. Try not to trip on the hose. And we're going to put these over here. And let's see. Let's put them over on this end. All right. So I will have to make sure I spray these every day because there's a thick coating of dirt over here in this section along the fence. So this is where I've put all my cuttings and all of my smaller gooseberry plants, and now my elderberry cuttings. So all of the little gooseberry cuttings that I had done before, they hadn't grown very much, so I went ahead and moved them. Yesterday I potted them in here. I used a lot of that coconut coir in the lower half of the container pots, and the top half is other dirt that the cuttings were in for the most part. I think this one has coconut coir in it, and this one down here has coconut coir in it. But later on I'll be able to put some fertilizer on them after they've gotten rooted. During the winter months, that'll just soak down into their roots that they create, and I won't put very much. So this is how everything is looking now, and they're nice. The heat from the black pots actually help the roots so that the roots will establish better and quicker. So I had emptied some of the dirt into this container from some of the smaller pots, and the dirt was really relatively warm, so this should work out really, really well. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and click that bell button. As always, have a wonderful day, and God bless. Bye.